Hello and welcome to another episode of Spotlight Sessions. My name's Ilan Fisher, the host, and I head up our nonprofit partnerships here at accessiBe. Today I'm having a conversation with Clea Corman. She's the executive director at Camp Massawippi. How's it going, Clea?
It's going great. Thanks, Ian.
So Claire, really what brought us to this conversation is we have a partnership with Camp Massawippi, but for those who don't know about the camp, can you tell us a little bit about the story and the origins and really how you ended up working there?
Yeah, absolutely. Camp Massawippi was first started in 1951, so it's been around for 70 years now. It's an organization that has always provided activities, camps, wonderful opportunities for youth with disabilities. So we primarily offer camps and activities to youth age 6 to 30 with physical impairments. So that means motor, visual, hearing impaired, and we're really proud to be an extremely inclusive camp. So we have people with all sorts of different limitations and impairments that are here on our site in the Eastern Townships in Quebec, Canada. We provide adapted sports opportunities. We do all the activities that you would find at a camp, and you put the word adapted in front of it, and that's what we do. So, everything from nautical skiing for quadriplegics to skating in the winter for people who are in wheelchairs, sledding. Everything that we do here is really highly adapted to the needs of each individual camper, and we make sure that what they bring to the table is highlighted and so that they can participate in the way that they can and choose. So this camp has always been there for these types of individuals, and we're located right on the edge of a lake, so it's a beautiful, calm, nature-inspired environment. And we also offer a day camp in the city in Montreal, and those are for individuals who have multiple disabilities. We also offer respite opportunities throughout the school year, so campers can continue their camp experience throughout the school year and continue creating that sense of community between each other. And then with the pandemic, we also started offering a virtual camp, which kind of brought some of the magic of camp directly into the homes of our campers.
That's amazing. And you took the next question kind of out of my mouth when I was going to ask really how often are these programs run? And it sounds like
Yeah.
really the programs are run really throughout the year. And Claire, how did you get involved in it? What was your career like prior to working at Camp Massawippi?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've been working in the nonprofit community organization sector for about 7 or 8 years now. Before I worked in education, I worked for a nonprofit that helped decrease the elevated dropout rates in rural Quebec. So I primarily helped with those programming. It was a grassroots organization, started from the ground up. So it was really a privilege to be part of something as it took off. And I've also worked, I ran a youth center for a while, worked for the school board as well. So I've been involved in these types of initiatives. And for me, I'm from this area, and Camp Massawippi was just kind of down the road for me. And they were looking for somebody local to kind of develop the organization further. So I was lucky enough to be selected. And I think that in terms of my career path, I've always kind of been involved with organizations or causes that help remove any barriers to youth either succeeding, whether it's in education or removing barriers so that they can participate in activities like everyone else. I think that that's kind of what draws me is leveling the playing field.
That's a really great story. And then kind of taking your role, I'd like to understand a little bit more of what the day-to-day looks like, because I imagine during the times when camp is running, which is, from what I understand, very, very often, it's very intense. And then kind of what does it look like on the quote-unquote off times, and how big is your team? What does the day-to-day really look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for sure, our highest season is in the summer. So from about June, July, and August, we have both camps running at the same time. So we have our overnight camp where we have about 50 campers living on site with staff here in the Eastern Townships in rural Quebec. And at the same time, we have a day camp running in Montreal. So so the city and country life is what my experience is in the summer. I go back and forth between the two, and it's a really the summer is pretty incredible. We have to hire about 75 seasonal staff, so we
Wow.
provide almost a 1-to-1, 1-to-2, or 1-to-3 camper to staff ratio. So it's quite the undertaking, and we have to make sure that we really select staff that are first bilingual, so they have to speak both English and French. Because all of our services are bilingual, we really believe that if people have physical impairments and maybe they have trouble communicating as well, we don't want to have to ask them to speak in not their first language. So we hire people who are bilingual and are really caring individuals, and then they undergo 60 to 70 hours of training before campers arrive on site. So that's kind of the summer experience. Our team is quite large, as well as managing the site here in the rural Quebec. We're 19 acres. We've got about 20 buildings, so managing the operations of the site as well. And then in the off season, well, quote unquote off season, we've got a full week March break camp that we do in the winter, which is really fun, and we do bonfires in the snow and sledding and skating, and then we do kind of mini camps, maybe once a month. We try to do that for respite for the families. So in the off season, we're organizing that, and also, because we're a nonprofit and because we have a lean budget, we're always looking for ways to partner with other community organizations, other businesses. Sometimes they use our site, they come and rent our site to use our adapted facilities. We're one of the most adapted facilities in this area. Yeah, so that's kind of the day-to-day managing of, it's a nonprofit, but nonprofits, sometimes you can almost manage them like businesses. You're taking care of marketing, communications, visibility, development, advancement, HR, programs. So yeah.
So it's not precisely in your title, but you sound a little bit like the chief everything officer.
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. But I have a fantastic team. I wouldn't be able to do it without them. So we have our permanent team is about six or seven, and then again in the summer it goes to about 80. But that's what we do. Yeah.
So you mentioned a little bit about the business community, so I want to kind of drill down on that. What is your interaction with the business community, and kind of what is your advice to them on kind of starting or really just continuing or maintaining their accessibility journey? And then what effect does Camp Massawippi have on those said businesses as well?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's a question that we've been asking ourselves a little bit more recently, and how to develop that further. I think that in the past, our site it's 19 acres. It's on the side of a lake. It's a beautiful place, and in the past, it has been rented out to businesses looking to do, for example, team building retreats or for different events. And I think that it's a way for us to kind of move our mission forward in two different ways. It allows us, we rent out our facilities, so the money that we get from those types of rentals then goes directly into program design and implementation for our campers and our youth with physical limitations, right? But then on the other side of that, I think that developing those links with the business community, having them on site gives visibility to the term accessibility and inclusiveness. When they're here on site, they really get what it means to be accessible in all of the ways, right? Whether it's structural or just adapting activities to fit the needs of different individuals. I think that it's a great way to showcase our mission and what we're trying to do. And I think it's important for the business community to be aware that these types of campers, they require extra support to be able to come to a camp like this. We have medical staff that lives on site with us. We provide high levels of care, personal care, but it really creates an amazing experience for those campers.
And it's something that I can kind of attest to a little bit. Like the other week, I went on an adaptive tour of a city nearby me, and what I thought was something that was accessible because it had some sort of ramp, somebody pointed out that it wasn't accessible. So again, it's really bringing people to have those lived experiences, and I think that's really important. And even if they're going for the reason of it's a beautiful place, by by the lake, and there's lots of these activities that you can do, and there's lots of space. They'll be learning kind of inherently what kind of accessible design looks like, or what some of the best
Yeah.
practices are. So I really like that take on it as well.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. And I think that people don't really get it until they see it or experience it, like you just said, right? I think that firsthand, hands-on experience is really key to, making people understand what it is to be accessible.
And really, lastly, just on the topic of partnerships and businesses and kind of those broader relationships, if people are looking to partner up with Camp Massawippi, whether you're a local business or international organization like us, how can they get involved?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, we're always looking for partners. We are a nonprofit, so every little bit counts, and helps us maintain our services for our campers and their families. So they can visit our website, campmasswhippy.com. There's a donate page there. We're a registered charity, so we can provide tax receipts for donations. And then there's also, there's the monetary side of things, but there's also the partnerships and collaboration opportunities. We love partnering with other organizations that have similar mandates, for example, that either need access to a site like ours, or even just want to partner to improve the camp experience. Partnering with accessiBe has been fantastic as a partnership. It's allowed us to increase our accessibility of our website, and that has led to other partnerships as well. So, yeah, we can collaborate. We like to collaborate on pretty much anything, so you can always get in contact with us.
Amazing. Claire, again, I wanted to thank you so much for taking the time and for being so open and honest and really just kind of sharing your mission. And I hope that this is one of many collaborations that we have together, and hopefully this ecosystem is going to grow.
Fantastic. Thank you.